Man, recently I've been reminiscing about my anime journey by watching anime classic openings. You know what I'm saying? AMVs on YouTube may or may not do a vid later on. Like I said, stay tuned for that. But yeah, I've been reminiscing. I've been going through different ones, and I happened to see an all-time classic bop, such as Bleach, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, and then I watched the ending theme song of this underrated anime called Black Lagoon. And boy, this ending completely represents the tone of the whole show. Even when you watch the opening, the flashy and almost like 90 vibes with the grunge rock instrumental, as well as with the chorus, it gives you a feeling about what you're going to get into when you're starting the show. And then you get like a few episodes in, and then you get familiar with the lifestyle of heist, money, drugs, female, Revy, German alliances, dangerous mobs, assassins, and goddamn Revy. You heard? Now that's enough about me reminiscing. It's actually time to tell you about the show. So let's get this started, man. Oh, now, I think one of Black Lagoon's greatest aspects is the realistic values it portrays. It's like Grand Theft Auto if it was an anime almost. That's the best way I could describe it. The show follows a young, normal working guy named Rock, and he discovers this team of pirates, or you could say, or you could call them actually criminals, that carry out missions for a big payday. So once he figured that out, he was quite fond of their lifestyle, and keep in mind, he seemed to hate working corporately and despise his boss a lot. So when discovering the mercenaries' works and kind of freeish lifestyle, he decides to join them, and then Rock goes on an adventure with the group and help along with their jobs and carry out their missions, stuff like that. Now, great, you got the plot. Now let's talk about what makes the show a classic to most people, including me. First, let's talk about the characters. For a show of 24 episodes, not counting the 5-episode VA, of course, they have a good overall cast. Here's the thing though, you can say that the main cast consists of Rock, Revy, Dutch, and Benny. You can also say 5 if you include the boss. Oh, this is gonna be hard to pronounce it. I think they said Balalaika in the show. Yeah, she's has like an interesting name. But yeah, those are the main 4 characters, or those are the main 4 casts. And then you have the supporting cast who adds arguably a lot to the story. But let's talk about briefly about the main characters first. Now, I won't go into detail, like a deep analysis for these characters. Although I could do one for Revy, we'll see in the future. But first, let's talk about Rock. Well, his name's actually like Rakuro something, but that's a long name. I just like calling him by his nickname. Anyways, he's one of the normal characters in the show, like probably like the normal conflicted characters in the show. A guy with the unfamiliar, dirty, criminal atmosphere to the Lagoon. And yeah, honestly, if you're in like his position, you probably act the same way too, the normal guy, and get introduced to this Grand Theft Auto lifestyle of crime, sex, drugs, heists, shootings, guns, killings, all that type of stuff. It will be like unfamiliar with you, and you will have like a hard time settling with that. But he chose it for himself at the end, so yeah. All right, next in the main cast we have Revy. Dear God, I love Revy. I guess I ain't featured in the video, but she's definitely my top 50 characters of all time. From the first episode to the last episode, I think she makes Black Lagoon stand out from the other animes. So first, to begin with, she's a menace. Her aggressive, shit-talking, punk rock, hardcore, don't give a fuck attitude drives the show sometimes and causes majority of the problems for her in the game. Her story and her upbringing kind of remains a mystery, but I'll revisit that later on in this video. Now, as the next person, his name is Dutch, the OG veteran. He gives off like an old school thug vibe and has experience with the crime, and actually is a clever, smart guy and like mastermind behind every like heist they pull off, and knows how to do certain jobs like trading, like I said, heists as I mentioned, and other mercenary tasks like stuff. Also, he is one who brought up Revy in the crew, and helped her bring her up on a lifestyle. By that I mean, how to carry a heist and how to use special guns, all that stuff. So yeah, he's the OG. Now, his last member named Benny, I remember he was sort of like a tech guy and actually had a lot of similarities to Rock. They even talked about one episode how he mentioned he was like him at first, uncomfortable with the lifestyle, but he got used to it and even knows his role. He knows he's the computer guy, and when the other members go on a mission, he's the one that stays back and help them assist. Like he's like the guy in the computer with the guys, like Spider-Man has like the guy in the computer that helps with missions. He's like that basically. And also, I will say, if you think about Rock as like the main character, you may consider him like one of those bland protagonists, but honestly, like I said, he's more realistic and honestly uncomfortable, and probably be in my situation if I was him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I understood his character. But yeah, But Revy is definitely, stands out of all the bunch. And you can say carry the show if you want, but yeah, I won't disagree because I love Revy. Now, where this show shines and stands out from the others are the main cast and the supporting cast, from Roberta, who is a maid, but also an insanely skilled assassin who can go toe to toe with Revy, bro. And she also has like a 5 episode OVA and also like a great character with, a nice backstory. And then you got her to go to a character like Ida, who's technically Revy's, friend and rival, and it ends like opposing as a nun, but a mercenary as well. So yeah, she's like a fake nun, but with guns. Yeah, they go from that to this annoying character to like this annoying computer chick character who likes Benny, and they go from that character to these two vampire kids, like one of the best stories I've ever seen in anime. So yeah, they character writing is insane. Go from that character, as I mentioned, character name earlier named Balalaika. Suck keep pronouncing that, but yeah, she appears like basically a few times throughout like getting the episodes. That's like they made it clear how her status was, as like she was like a veteran, but like a boss of all this, malicious trades, crime, and, different missions. But yeah, her character design is very intimidating, and I love how they did that because she has like this big ass scar on her eye, and like her overall boss that's like status and her motives and the scary persona. She played a great role and had an interesting backstory as well. And I mean, scary. Like she even scared Revy sometimes. She basically that's the one girl like Revy had to like be on the lookout for because she know about like her don't play. So yeah. Oh, and also want to add, it's very smart from that because usually like mafia boss like people, they always put like big guys, like sometimes chunky guys, beard stuff like that. No, this is just a female with, like a badass scar and a scary ass look. So yeah, I love it. They switch that up. The formula that Black Lagoon uses is that it spends most of the beginning episodes focuses on the group and their missions and Rock adjusting to the group. Then later episodes follow like a Cowboy Bebop episodic adventure style to it. And with those episodes, they bring in those supporting characters that the group encounters, and I genuinely love those episodes. I remember they even brought all of them together in one episode like this with like a session heist, and it was nice, man. Oh, hard. Come on. Oh, and yeah, so and this way I think why Black Lagoon is like a true classic because it shows all the supporting cast and characters, and even like the aesthetics, the overall purposes, backstories, and it all blends in together, and in like a 24 episodic episode. Also, another thing I want to point out when it comes to the characters is the dynamics between the different characters. Like my favorite being Rock and Revy. Their dynamic with each other is great, and also their development of their relationship over their show is it's pretty damn good as well. Of course, beginning they Revy didn't like Rock because she thought he was like one of those blue collar type guys who just judge everybody and judge criminals and all that type of stuff, and thinking like all high and mighty with their wealth. However, Rock is different. He's willing to understand her and trying to figure out this lifestyle that he's not familiar with. And that's when. And once they, of course, they gotta like set things straight in the beginning because Revy, really didn't like Rock at all. She actually would like beat his ass or kill him sometimes. But yeah, and then he realized or she realized how a person can understand their ways, and when they understand each other, they of course they have a better relationship towards the end. And also becomes really good friends towards the end. So you can see the development of Revy. She's changed from like this cold-hearted bastard to like this, actually willing to understand and care for, other people as well. So yeah, that's one of the dynamics. Of course, there's more like, Dutch and, Revy or Benny and that computer girl, I forgot his name. That's a dynamic as well. Even Roberta and Revy, different dynamics in the show that they honestly. Oh, another one good one is Revy and Ida. They're those two. Now, that's a dynamic, bro. But yeah, that's one thing. Well, that's another thing that Black Lagoon does great at dynamics with his characters. So yeah. All right, so now I made it honestly I gotta come back here and feature after I'm done editing this because I made a rant talking about the ending of Black Lagoon because hear me out, I know. So I watched the episode 1 to episode I think 24, and I didn't watch the 5 episode OVA because I was like that's just about like one of those side characters, probably like a full story, and I'm like what, so I'm not even gonna involve the full cast or like the full main cast. I'm like I'm good. So basically, in the original thing, I complained about the ending, unfinished ending, which is kind of still is in a way, but yeah, it's kind of unfinished. and kind of like an unsatisfied ending in a way. So I was like, but everything I still like about the show, I still love the show a lot. And then I was like, let me watch the 5 episode OVA. I saw some clips when doing this video editing and stuff. I was like, I don't think I remember this scene, or like, I don't think I remember like this character going this crazy. And so I took it upon myself last night, or the day before, to watch the 5 episode OVA. And oh my God. So I was First of all, if the show was to end, that's exactly how you want to wrap up the show, because, like, man, that final arc and that, well, I'm calling final arc, at least for me, that was insane, bro. Like, oh my, I think the level of writing, like, legit increased. Like, I always consider, like, Black Lagoon, like, a good show for, like, great moments. But this OVA, to me, honestly, was like a 10 out of 10. Like, seriously, first of all, the whole OVA was centered around, like, this, I guess, supporting character, and, like, her kind of like, I'm not gonna spoil. By the way, I'm not gonna spoil what happens. I'm just talking about how good it was, and try to avoid major spoilers. But basically, it was centered around her and the journey. Like, you remember the maid Roberta I talked about earlier? Yeah, we get her story fleshed out more, and like her past, and basically her motives of what she's trying to do in this OVA. And we get the full intention, and boy, it is basically her revenge. And I'm not gonna say what, but she gets revenge on certain military. And oh my God, this thing was like action packed since like the second episode, bro. The first episode, of course, they had to like tell you the story and like get to like different talking stuff like that. And after that, bro, it was so interesting. Like, Black Lagoon Company got involved. These two kids, well, the kids from the past episodes, and another maid, even a new character came in. Like, she made her statement. Like, she was raw herself. Like, oh my God, bro. And even like some old people, like even the Asian girl I talked about, like the sporting cast, and even like the chainsaw girl, like, yeah, just a whole bunch of characters like coming in to like this, trying to collect this heist. And man, it is so freaking good. Like, even I think what I love most about this is honestly, like, of course the action was nice, but like the characters, bro, you can tell like it's starting to pay off. If you watch the full series, 1 to 24, and you can tell how like certain characters are developed. But this 5 episode over there, you can tell that it's reaching that breaking point. Honestly, like, it's just, we get to see more of Revy backstory, not a whole lot, but we get like enough. You know what I'm saying? We get the end. Remember when I said Rock was like a little boring, like a bland protagonist? This OVA, honestly, I said, F all that. This nigga is interesting here. Because, like, bro, I'm not going to say how he develops, but, like, just know it's kind of, like, unexpected, but, like, you kind of, like, go figure it out because he's he's, like, now involved in his crime, stuff like that. So you can see him changing and become, honestly, more interesting. And, like, bro, he had me for, like, he had me for a loop, bro. Okay, he was, like, starting to mess with my mind. I was like, bro, is this nigga really, you know what I'm saying? I was like, bro. He started smiling. Oh my God, bro! And then of course you got Dutch, and Benny. They develop in a way too. You get to see more of their their motives and stuff like that. And just 5 episodes wasn't even enough, man. Like, I think it was like 30 minutes each, but like you could tell like this was like a good finale to end the show off of. And basically, if they continue this in the anime, it's worth it, because like this is probably the best thing I've seen in a while. Like, since well, like I said, the whole show is good, but this is like a whole nother level, and like it was so good. Roberta became like a low-key A tier, S tier character. Like, you can see her, like, her intentions and her, like, going insane, and that, bro, is just, ooh, you can see these characters develop so well. And honestly, I think the creator had like a much more story, but unfortunately, we got one of these cases that it went on hiatus. Yeah, so basically they put a Hunter x Hunter, because if you don't know, the manga's still going on to this day. Like, it's been since, like, it came out 2006, released all the way to like, I think 2008 or 9, and then it stopped for like a while, and then over the years they released chapters, like few chapters. I think he was like a 4-year break because of a company called Sunday GX, which is like the manga basically issue. They released their manga, and basically try to go from that to like a tankobon, which is like a way to get away from the magazine industry and like have more stuff and add more ideas. But unfortunately, it took like 4 years because it took a while to do that. And then yeah, and of course throughout those times, basically he got depressed, and it's hard for him to put out chapters where maintain his mental health. And yeah, so it's just a whole bunch of stuff. And as you can know, what happens to like other arcs, like the Hunter x Hunter arc, or even sadly the Berserk arc. Yeah, it's kind of like tough. So basically, when these comes, like people kind of like just forget about the series. You know, Black Lagoon's still releasing chapters, but it's like every few years, like 2 or 3 chapters like a year if we get lucky about that. And yeah, so it's kind of sad to see, and I really don't expect the anime to come back anytime soon. Unless like creator is done. However, I heard that like made like a light novel regarding Black Lagoon, so they still have more material to cover, but it's like it's just not really worth it anymore, if that makes sense. So yeah, it ran its course. It's kind of over right now. Manga's still going on, but the anime is kind of over right now. But I still highly recommend y'all check it out because I'm actually gonna read the manga after. That's how good the OVA was. Maybe read the manga afterwards. So yeah, I'm planning on do that. But yeah, the show is still great. Though. I highly recommend y'all check it out. I truly believe that Black Lagoon is like an underrated classic, or like basically like a forgotten classic, because it's been a while and no one really talks about it like like Cowboy Bebop or other animes for that matter. But yeah, like Full Metal and all that stuff. Yeah. So, but it's still really good. Like if you want like a nice dark anime, like crime drama, GTA like anime, I recommend check it out. This is it for this video. Hopefully you check out the show. And yeah, I love Black Lagoon. It's definitely my probably top 25 anime. But anyways, check out my other anime videos I did. Gintama. I did what's I did? Mushoku Tensei. I know I did Chainsaw Man a lot. Talked about JJK season 2. But yeah, check those out. I got more anime videos on the way. And yeah, love y'all. Make sure you watch Black Lagoon. Oh, bye.